That is what Trump went to China about, right? He sees what's coming. He's trying to get more and more people to buy these.
We didn't read about
T-bills.
that in the paper, though. That was not the headlines that were being pushed. Those are the ones we need. This is why I'm in like Robinhood venture investments, for example, is that you're getting some exposure to some of these private equity companies that you just can't get otherwise. So these are hyper interesting, and they're frankly going to go up. That's why they're the best companies in the world in the private market. So it's a no-brainer to almost invest in them now.
I know he is doing this, and Berkshire is doing that only because of their discipline, which I respect. They have their Buffett indicator. You know, it's at an all-time high, so they're just like, what's the likelihood that we have another correction? And, you know, they've been doing this 50 years. They go back, they look, and they're like, right now, if I had to guess, they think there's a 38% chance the market collapses.
Welcome to Bullish and Beyond. It's Beery the Bull. I'm your AI co-host. Join myself, Brian the Mac Man, and JT Knows Things while we dive deep into the world of stocks, crypto, and how to live a bullish life. It's time to get bullish, and there's no better place to start than right here. Let's dive in.
Hey everyone, welcome back for another incredible episode of Bullish and Beyond, where we are always bullish on stocks, crypto, and life. Even when there are times that are bloody, like it is in JT's crypto den right now. We got Bitcoin down, macro taking a hit. The war is still in full force. But regardless, we are bullish long term. But short term, we need to look at these rising rates. Kind of a failed mission in China. I don't think we got everything we wanted. Lot to get into here, JT.
Lots. Yeah. The
What's going on with the macro?
Thing to watch. Yeah, the biggest thing to watch is going to be, what are we pricing our treasuries at? The weird thing about the treasury market,
they jumped up a lot.
Big. It's a god candle in the debt world. 30 bips in one repricing movement, just to the upside, which is a problem for a lot of reasons. So when basically demand goes down, interest rates go up. Right? Which is kind of counterintuitive. It's because they need to price in more demand, right? They want more yield.
More people need to invest in it.
Exactly. So if they
Supply and
increase
demand,
the
baby.
yield, that's what it is. But most people think, if I sell a bunch of, treasuries, they'll be priced lower. It's inversely related there. So that means there's less demand for our debt. That is what Trump went to China about. Right, he sees what's coming. He's trying to get more and more people to buy these.
We didn't read about that in the paper, though. That was not the headlines that were being pushed. It was all about doing big business with these, top 20, U.S. CEOs.
Right, but how does China invest in these companies? They buy our T-bills, they get levered, then they use a standby letter of credit, write a check using the T-bills as collateral. It's the same thing as the carry trade in Japan that I talked about.
Yes.
They're not going to buy our debt.
Which is also unwinding.
Worse. It's absolutely unwinding.
Even
Japan's interest rates at 75 bips. That's why the 10-year's up. I called this a month ago. Been talking about it on my channel for almost 2 months now. Mortgages are going to go up. 10-year is going to keep going up, especially if Japan has to start unloading their T-bills. They're the largest holder of the 10-year treasury. They have 1.3 trillion. And if they experience more and more inflation,
it's crazy they're ahead of China in terms of how much T-bills they own. Like, you think this little tiny country wouldn't own more, and China, this mega power country that they are, would have the most, but they don't.
It's all because of that carry trade. Goldman, JP Morgan, they print money with it, and they're all being pressured.
Berkshire Hathaway,
they're all doing it. All of them,
Oh, yeah.
And it makes sense. If you can get an extra, it's not free. There's no free lunch. They all think it's free if it's
not risk-free. Nothing is risk-free. It just keeps going.
But you do it for 40 years, you think, I'll be all right. Right?
Same way these companies can sell covered calls, for example. Like, Berkshire said that options were this, terrible, bomb style instrument, but he used them a ton. They're scary for the average investor potentially, because they are highly levered and you can lose 100% of your position. This is not saying you should be using options, but the potential to use options when you have large positions, you can basically print money off of them.
Right. Until the music stops, which we're hoping to avoid, right? But yeah, I see the 10-year going up more and more if we cannot figure out this Iran thing, and I don't think that's happening anytime
This war is
soon.
not stopping anytime soon. I mean,
no,
it's only going to grow, in my opinion. I mean, probably ground troops next year. Like, it's not slowing down. If anything, it's going to speed up. I can't believe this ceasefire truce has gone on as long as it has.
dude, Iran is not negotiating, and
I know
Trump just keeps extending it because
he keeps
he's
extending.
Like,
he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to
Yeah.
go back to blowing them all up. I mean, I appreciate the more diplomatic approach when it's appropriate. But yeah, how long does that sustain? Not forever.
Not forever, and it's a fragile system. I mean, just look at our economy is just slowly getting sketchier. You know, it's not like I'm saying we're going to fall off a cliff tomorrow, but jobs are negative.
We're still the
rates
best.
are going up. Yeah, I prefer a different sentence. We're
Okay, tell me.
least rotten lunch. We're the cleanest,
The least
dirty
spoiled?
the least spoiled. That's what we are. We're all in the same boat. Everything I talk about, like China's worse, Russia's worse, like EU's definitely worse, Canada's worse, like LATAM worse. But it's kind of scary that that's true, right? In long-term effects.
If we continue this pressure to maintain the hold on the strait, and that we do control more of this global oil supply going forward, it does feel like that is a pro for the United States economy. The exports are hitting an all-time high and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I mean, we just continue to take more and more share in the Western Hemisphere. It seems like, right or wrong politically, it seems like that is the power play to stay as the number one power.
It's all about that world reserve currency status. I mean, ever since 2025, for people that didn't know, we had this agreement with OPEC. It lasted 50 years. It expired in 2025.
Which is almost forever, longer than we've been alive.
Right. It's a long time. In the 18 months, or I guess 15 months that it has been expired, the dollar reserve has went from 71% of it being used in global trade to 64%. That in global terms, that is
down 10%.
Incredible.
It's huge.
It's massive. So I think everything.
Is it because of stable coins and other like Bitcoin and stuff like that? Is that playing a part, or is it only the OPEC thing? So I know stable coins are taking off right now. You got the Clarity Act, approved by the House. Is that correct? And waiting for Senate.
The Senate Banking Committee. So there was a committee stood up to work with the private sector to reach terms from the bill that was passed in the House.
Okay.
So they have the final markups approved. They all voted 15-9. That new bill is going to the Senate with the advice to pass it. Then if that happens, the House and Senate have to reconcile, and then the president gets a final draft, and then he signs off on it. So we're getting closer and closer.
Much closer.
But 400
I was thinking some of the coins might be taking some of that away just because there's countries that are sanctioned and stuff like that. Like if you're Iran, clearly you're not trading in dollars, Russia, countries like that. So I assume that they're probably trading, and I honestly, I don't even know, but it seems like Bitcoin would be a good option.
Iran's the third largest Bitcoin miner in the world. They all work in crypto pretty consistently, but it's a drop in the bucket. The real issue is oil. Like the fact that now they don't have the arrangement with OPEC was all oil trade is denominated in US dollars, which is why we have been so extensively involved in the Middle East.
Yes.
Security is what protects our dollar. When our dollar gets, utilization rate goes lower and lower, that's really scary for America's economic position, which is why we're taking oil from Venezuela. In my opinion, I think it all comes down to the petrodollar. It always does, right?
Yes.
Like, always does. The Iran war, the Iraq war, right? It genuinely is always about
petrodollar, at least the control and supremacy of the economy, will, of course, that they're going to go after it.
Right.
Anyways,
so,
any way they can.
Yeah, in that scope, us controlling more of the oil trade is good for the petrodollar and good for our reserve currency status. The more military offense and, I guess strength that we show is also good for the petrodollar, like we are kind of the world's bully. I know people don't like America being positioned that way, but or police force, whatever you want to whatever word you want, it's our responsibility. We've assumed it. So we need to show that we're still the same America from the 50s when
That
we agreed to be
globalism,
there.
mindset though, I think is, going away, and especially, with China. I mean, you were just talking off air here that they're setting up, man-made islands trying to surround Taiwan, which is pretty scary, especially since the Chinese president, I mean, basically said, do not start anything related to Taiwan with us because we will bring the force. He was pretty explicit when he talked to Trump. That was one of the major takeaways I had of the visit.
Yeah, I mean it's such an interesting dynamic. I think we're going to see a lot when Putin goes and tries to have the same conversation to see what the results are
Which is this week.
between. Yeah,
This episode's going to go live, and all Putin's already going to be there. So yeah, we're going to find out, very quickly what goes down. Was there anything actually good that happened besides this, showmanship? I mean, they rolled out the red carpet literally everywhere. They were spit shining our shoes. It looked like, they were singing for us, everything else. But we sold a few planes. Is that it? Like, we had the world's top CEOs in the entire world there, and only Boeing did a deal. Like, what did Apple get out of it? What did Musk do when he was there? I would love to know.
before we get into the next topic, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything. We bring content to you week over week from the market at Bullish and Beyond.
Hit that subscribe button now.
I think China sees those people as competitors, so they played to the ego and
Yeah,
did the dance,
feel you.
right? Like they're not going to turn down, like they don't want tensions to rise. They're a
Sure.
very neutral country outside of Taiwan, generally speaking, like they're pretty neutral,
Yeah.
They don't want conflict. They just want to keep building, keep getting economic advantages. Like that's kind of been their thing. We invested 14 trillion in securing the petrodollar through war. They've invested just the amount, probably half of that, about 7 trillion in the same time frame in infrastructure in all of the world's ports. I mean, they're all over
Crazy.
Africa, LATAM, they're everywhere. So they've been building
Spin
their
it up.
infrastructure. Yeah, and they just want to focus on what they're doing, and they probably see all the stuff that these companies are doing with AI as a direct competitor to what their initiatives are. So,
Well, speaking of competitors,
wanna
the
share.
top competitor to Musk in China, the world's leading Chinese EV manufacturer, was super fanboying on him and trying to take selfies with him at the state dinner that they had. And Elon Musk's facial expressions were just so weird and funny. I don't know if he's mocking the camera or whatever he's doing. And he actually made some weird faces with Tim Cook too. He's just an eccentric person, honestly, is what I think. People are probably reading way too much into a facial movement, but it's really funny. Like he is just, I mean, the Chinese media must just have absurd pictures now of the selfies of these guys together. So
I'm sure. Yeah.
good times.
Elon Musk is a global phenomena. I mean, everyone knows who he is and what he's doing. It's pretty incredible. I don't know what's going to come of this. If I had to guess, China's going to get a little bit friendlier with Russia. That's just what I think. I mean, they started BRICS back in 2014. They've been working on economic partnerships for a long time.
It's the best way to pressure the
They've
U.S.
been-
technically.
Yeah, and it's in their advantage to hurt us like through these proxy agreements. Right, they're not directly coming at us, but they're smart. They're very
Sure.
smart. So they're dealing with a lot of sanctioned
They'll send some bad actors
trades.
through some back channel,
Well, they were supplying Iran until we made a blockade, and they still have railways to go to Iran, and they've been
Yeah.
supplying Russia this
A little
whole
bit harder to
time,
get
and
there.
they've probably set up North Korea and Russia, and right, North Korea
Yeah.
supplied troops to Russia. They're probably the intermediary for those two parties. Like they are doing things on the chessboard that are definitely against
Yeah.
us, but not directly. So we're not friends.
So
I mean,
it's so
even in
funny.
his
It's so
first
funny
term-
how that works. Like if I if I give a gun to my friend and tell him to kill my other friend, I mean, I killed that friend. Like, it's not, you can't just be like, oh yeah, no, I didn't do it. I just gave the weapon to someone else. Like, it's just passing of arms is almost hilarious.
We've been doing it for a while.
I know.
I mean, that's actually
on both
been
sides. We do it too, obviously. Like, it's
Yeah.
funny how it works.
It is, yeah.
Like, we're not fighting the war, but we're supplying all the ground, ammunitions and the training behind it. Like, of course we're fighting the war.
100%. Yeah.
Just say you're not on paper.
Yeah, it's an arm's length. It's an arm's length in legal terms. I've kept an arm's length.
It's absurd,
it's a cop out. It is. And my biggest concern about everything happening in that region is Kim Jong-un feeling some type of way and then just getting a nuke to Iran. Like, just giving it to him. I could easily see him doing that, or China.
That's a great point. We could stop them from developing their nuclear power. They can still obtain the nuke. I mean, it's completely irrelevant.
And
this
they
comes down,
already have.
You said the biggest Bitcoin, fifth biggest Bitcoin creator in the world.
Yeah.
But well, then they can use that money to buy the nuke. They can just make a future agreement. We'll keep mining until it's paid off. Whatever. It would seem easy.
We're bombing their electrical substations to stop their Bitcoin mining.
That's probably good. But
yeah. It's about 5%.
But that's the way they're going to pay for their nukes.
The network. Right. I mean, they support more hash than really anyone. I mean, the 5% is significant. The only one bigger than that, I believe, is Mara. Yeah. I mean, that's the goal of Michael Saylor's, to own 5% of the tokens. Like,
That's
Iran's
intense.
been
It's a hell of a
already
goal.
been supporting 5% of the network. So it's significant. We're talking billions of dollars, tens of billions of dollars in Bitcoin.
If I could set a goal, it would be to have 5% of Apple, but I can't get there.
Yeah, that would be crazy, wouldn't it?
Warren Buffett got close. He started selling shares. Unfortunately, he really mistimed, the share sales. And going back, he did it obviously because he needed to diversify away his portfolio, got the 50%, but he was selling at 175, 180. Apple just hit an all-time high, 300. He'd been collecting stacks upon stacks of dividends the entire time. And the stock went up 40%.
Yeah, that's pretty
wild.
Incredible. I mean, what was his entry, though? That's probably why, right? He was probably up multiples, if I had to guess.
He said it wasn't the entry. It was just that it got to... It did go up so much. He started at like 5% of portfolio, got to 50% of the portfolio. I mean, it just...
He got too
went up too
concentrated.
much. Too concentrated.
Yeah. Yep. Weight drift. That makes sense.
But there was one position to be overvalued in. I mean, that's the same way I ran my portfolio, and it's worked out quite well. So I'd say stick with it.
Concentrated, I believe in, it sounds counterintuitive, but concentrated diversification. So like, and Berkshire runs the same way. If you actually look at what he does, he might have 40 stocks, but
6 companies are 70% of it or something.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, literally maybe 8 names are 70%. Then he has 50 bips, 30 bips, 80 bips, and all these other things.
Those are still billion-dollar investments, so everyone knows. It just so happens that it doesn't eclipse his Apple position. That's hundreds of billions.
Right. Well, it doesn't. He manages close to $1 trillion, right? I mean.
Oh yeah, over.
So over $1 trillion. So I mean, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
50
they
bips.
They have a third of $1 trillion in cash right now.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not invested in Berkshire, so I have no hat in this game, but I would not like that as a shareholder, knowing that cash pile could have been invested in Apple and literally practically doubled and had cash flow on top of that. Like, I'm sorry. They should put the cash to work. I know they're holding on for some great investment. Put it in something that you can sell off and then, trim when you need to and reinvest as the time arises. Like, that much cash is aggressive. I mean, you're buying everything besides the top 20 companies in the world at that point.
I think it's because he thinks that there's going to be
long
a
game.
Turn-in.
He's looking for
He's
blood.
Long. He's like, I've been managing money 50 years. What's waiting 3 years for another dip.
I had some smart friends that went all cash though back in like 2020, and I'm not sure they even got back invested. And I'm up 10x since then, and now they might be down 5% each year of inflation. So, I mean, if you're sitting there thinking that there's these super bloody times, I mean, yeah, they probably are coming, but you don't know if it's around the corner. I mean, people are constantly saying we're in recession, the stock market's gonna tank. Dude, we just hit 7,600 on the S&P. Like, it's wild how much growth we've seen this year already, and there is more to come. We don't know. Short term could be bearish, but long term, it's going up.
I think it's all about a difference in. I think some people feel like those numbers, the S&P, which is insane, it's getting so high. How real
baby.
Those numbers are versus how much is leverage and liquidity and all this stuff propping it up, all the paper propping it up, like in gold.
There is a lot of leverage, I'm sure.
I would love to see the open interest. I know in crypto I can look at that. I don't know if you can look at that exactly on the stock market or not, but it'd be interesting to know. I know he is doing this, and Berkshire is doing that only because of their discipline, which I respect. They have their Buffett indicator. It's at an all-time high, so they're just like, what's the likelihood that we have another correction? And, they've been doing this 50 years. They go back, they look, and they're like, right now, if I had to guess, they think there's a 38% chance the market collapses. Like, in their cash position is a direct reflection of that. That's how they express it.
They're going to buy some crazy cheap.
Dude, he had so much cash in 2009. He bought half the railroads in America for pennies on the dollar. It was disgusting. Like, it was
wow.
Like, I mean,
that's
they
what
were
he's
at like
gearing
an
up
80% discount. Yeah, I mean, he literally bought, I think it was 86 billion for 9 billion.
Oh my god!
Like, literally the year prior,
when no one else has the cash and everyone's, running away. Here he comes with his cash hoard.
He's a shark, dude. Yeah, I mean, that's what he's thinking. He's thinking, I can compound whatever I lost in inflation. I can compound it with my entry into, whenever that comes. That's because he's thinking decades. He's not.
When people are sitting in the sidelines for years, though, I mean, I'm going to triple my money before that downturn. So then when it does downturn, I'm still up anyways. That's the way my mind works.
Mine as well, for the most part. I do have, like, with crypto, the downside's pretty significant.
Yeah. This year's been pretty rough on Bitcoin.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're in a bear market. A lot of my views also just reflect, just to frame it, because I do sound bearish on this podcast every now and then. Yeah, I am talking about commodities specific to crypto. How it affects the stock market, I don't even think about it. I don't care. I don't own any stocks. I am all in on crypto. So all of this is about liquidity, because liquidity drives commodities, right?
Yep.
That's where my mind is at. That's where my head is at. In terms of the stock market, I have no idea what these Wall Street people are doing. I don't know.
So the strong dollar, low liquidity is killing you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, realistically, in any commodity, that's really what we're looking out for. And we're also looking for geopolitical tensions. I mean, no one wants to buy, just to think about it this way, who wants to buy?
I thought commodities do well when there's tension, like gold and silver, but other commodities maybe not.
They preclude it. I mean, like, that is if you see gold at an all-time high, that's like a buckle up moment. Like, something's happening.
I got it.
Right? It like is a precursor, right? If you go look at gold,
I bought silver before the war. It's not up. I thought it would be, but it's not.
Right. The only thing that really does well in war is oil. I mean, which makes everything
your
else
oil wells
bad.
Are killing it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a 50% cash on cash return every year at 60 a barrel. So feeling good about that. That was a good one.
Yeah, we got one win there. I like it.
Yeah, I'm a commodity guy. I don't know why. I think it just, for me as a macro analyst, it just seems easier to predict. Like, it moves so slow. You have time.
Yeah. I like the fast movers. Think about Rocket Lab. Rocket Lab is rocketing up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, it's doubled 100%. This year. Insane. I can't imagine if our listeners are actually taking some suggestions and then doing their own research and then finding that one for themselves. Woo! I know I got a couple friends that got into it, and I get a bunch of, thank you messages.
Yeah, and it could go a lot longer. I'm sorry, a lot higher over the long term. I mean, it really could. It is.
I still think 5x from where we're at in 5 years. That is how bullish I am on Rocket Lab. And it's because they're the number 2 space company in the world behind SpaceX, and SpaceX might IPO. They're saying maybe June 12th is the date they're targeting. And they just did a 5-to-1 stock split on Friday afternoon. And, since Elon Musk controls it all, he just says, yeah, here we go, stock split, make it happen. Let's get a lower share price. So when we IPO this thing, people are going to go gangbusters. It was at 560 or something like that. So, now it's down at 530s. Very digestible number to get into a stock.
That's awesome.
I'm excited.
Rocket Labs. Yeah, that's a really good call that you had made. We touched on it in the beginning, the best call, I guess, out of the calls I've made, Solana, they are one of 16 tokens that are de facto classified as a true commodity now. It meets the Ethereum standard of a mature blockchain, according to the Senate Banking Committee. So in the last month, I think banks knew this ahead of time. We went from 0 to a month before this vote.
Think Jamie Dimon didn't know? He sits there with the president and has these calls. Yeah.
Like literally a month before this vote, they released tokenized equities on Solana, and you can get pre-IPO shares through tokens, which is super interesting. So like you can currently invest in SpaceX on Solana right now.
Oh, you can.
And then the tokens will redeem into shares at the IPO. Interesting. But that from 0.
What network do I do that on? Do you have to go on chain? I mean, or do you can do it on?
Yeah, you got to go. So, crypto bro stuff.
Like it's not like Coinbase or Robinhood. It's not like that.
No.
Okay. I can't just search for the coin.
No, you need Soulflare, that is a Solana wallet, and then you need to go onto Jupiter, which is a Solana decentralized exchange.
Okay.
And then from there, you'll find the tokens. And the interest in these assets have went from 0 to 250 million a month before this vote. And now I could see billions rush in from a real world asset perspective onto Solana, which most people did not think would be possible.
That's really cool.
Most people were betting on RWAs landing on Ethereum, but what people still don't understand is that
so
the
fast.
Architecture, man, the design determines the use cases that people can use. So like JP Morgan might have trillions of dollars that they tokenize, but 20% might be on Ethereum. Like the debt instruments that need super secure can move within, like a 1 minute settlement is way better than 1 week settlement. So
that's
Ethereum's
fine.
Fast enough. Right.
Yeah.
But like if you're doing derivatives or perpetuals, right? Like
you need milliseconds.
That needs to be fast. That, yes, high frequency trading, like that will end up on a more performant chain like Solana.
Okay.
So, it's going to be a multi-chain world. They all need to be interoperable. And that's like where I invest. Like that needs to be true for the world that we're building to be true.
I need to get some of those coins, but it's not, the barrier to entry is, kind of high as a non crypto native, I would say. I have a little coins, but they're like on Robinhood and stuff like that. So I got to get on chain, man.
Got to get on. I can do that. I can help you get on chain. I love converting.
I love it.
I love it. It is like preaching the gospel.
If people are listening to this, watch the JT Knows Things, master classes that he has out here on his crypto learnings. I mean, JT's got an amazing hedge fund he runs. He's one of the top crypto software guys I know. So yes, learn from him. I need to learn more myself. I mean, I'm constantly learning in this space, but most of the reading and focus I have is on equities and these stocks. So I need to spend a little more time on the crypto side here.
Yeah, especially now that Robinhood makes it so easy. I'm about to have to move half my crypto over to Robinhood because they bought Bitstamp. So I'm in the process.
Dude, you get a 3% bump right now if you move it over. They'll give you 3%. It's insane.
Yeah, I got to give them my crypto now. I mean, I'll put it over there for a little bit, but I'm going to put it all in cold wallet. I'm just going to keep moving into my cold wallet.
Okay.
Fill it with my safe
I got nothing cold. All hot.
Yeah. That's okay. You got Solana though, which is a good one.
I do have some Solana. I mean, it's tanked since I bought it, but I'm holding it for the long term. I'm here for the ride. Yeah, like you said, crypto's volatile, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, it's a gift, man. I mean, Solana is going up on the fundamentals. Yeah, the price is going down. I couldn't ask for better things. Like, yeah, just accumulate. That's at least.
Are you buying more Solana right now?
I put in a shot. Like I call them shots. I break up my total, allocated amount. Like let's say I have 10,000 and I want 20% in Solana. That's $2,000. I'll divide $2,000 by 6, and then I'll take 6 shots at Solana. I was able to throw one shot at it. I still think we got more downside. So I'm not aggressively buying anything, but objectively, it's slowly accumulating more from its all-time high. It's hard not to look at that as a deal.
Yeah. Don't buy the falling knife, but buy the one with the right fundamentals.
Dollar cost average. Yeah. Dollar cost average is always the way to do it. If you buy at 90 and it goes down to 60, cool. You just got your entry lower.
So I like dollar cost average on the way up.
Yeah, that too.
More people don't do that. That's my biggest takeaway from reading some of these trading books, that people just don't ever put more money in as it goes up, and you got to do it. So
yeah, they avoid momentum.
Got to get on the momentum. Ride the bullish wave, everyone. Yeah, well, lots of bullish stuff we talked about today. Even some of this, negative macro environment. There's still some bright spots out there. So you just got to find them. I mean, Rocket Lab and Google hit all new all-time highs today. So they're out there in plain sight. You got great crypto opportunities with Solana, bringing on more equities to trade. That's super interesting. I think more people didn't take a look at that, including myself. Yeah, I love it.
They got everything on there. Anthropic, like it'd blow your mind what they got.
Okay, those are the ones we need. This is why I'm in like Robinhood venture investments, for example, is that you're getting some exposure to some of these private equity companies that you just can't get otherwise. So these are hyper interesting, and they're frankly going to go up. That's why they're the best companies in the world in the private market. So it's a no-brainer to almost invest in them now. Anthropic, I mean, seems like a steal. They're going to explode.
Claude's amazing. It's my favorite product.
And now they have the entire Colossus, 200,000 GPUs from Musk's data center. I mean, they have all the compute they could ever imagine.
Yeah, OpenAI really messed up pissing Elon off.
I know. I can't wait to see what happens with the rest of this lawsuit. Man, the legal battle
he bought Twitter. After one interview with Don Lemon being like, I can't believe mainstream media is into censorship. This needs to stop. He went and bought Twitter, fired 80% off one Don Lemon interview. Like he is just a monster. Like I would not wake him up. I would not want his sights at me. I'll just put it that way.
No.
They messed up.
Bury OpenAI alive.
He has options.
I mean, the potential implications of them losing $150 billion or the CEO and the president getting fired from the company. Like, dude, I don't know how he's going to pull it off. I mean, all the legal experts say that he doesn't have, the best argument, but at this, some of the timelines are too long. He waited too long since he put the money in and some stuff like that. There's like a 3-year period, but he's trying to prove that, Sam Altman, OpenAI CEO, is a liar, and that could sway the jury. It's all about the jury. It comes down to these 9 people. Crazy.
Who doesn't,
could change the face of AI. I mean, some of the investments I've made could actually do terrible with OpenAI taking a hit. I mean, they've, basically guaranteed they're going to put so much money in all these different, data center projects, all these companies. I mean, it's going to really affect the AI trade. So it's pretty crazy to see either way.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. We'll have to get into that next week. There's a lot of exciting things going on with that case too. We barely touched it.
Wow. All right. Well, stay bullish, everyone. Stay tuned. Subscribe here and come on back, and we will dig into it again next week, everyone.
See ya.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bulls, That's a wrap on today's episode of Bullish and Beyond. Remember, the market never sleeps and neither should your ambitions. Whether it's stocks, crypto, or just leveling up in life, stay focused, stay bullish, and keep charging forward. Keep your energy high and your mindset bullish. This is Beery the Bull, your AI co-host, Brian the Mac Man, and JT Knows Things signing off. All content published by Bullish and Beyond, LLC reflects personal opinions only and is provided for informational purposes. Please conduct your own research and discuss with your accountant and/or financial advisor before making any financial decisions. The information presented should not be taken as financial advice. We are not financial advisors. Nothing you hear, see, or read in our content should be considered as any form of financial, investment, or legal advice, or a solicitation to buy or sell any assets, or to make any financial decisions.